So here we have a two routers. In the two routers, we'll configure BGP routing protocol. So for that, what we will do, we'll configure here eBGP. So for that, I'll use here 100 AS number, and here I'll use AS number 200, and we'll use some LAN prefixes also. So what we'll do, we'll connect some LAN prefixes. So they are connected. And here we'll use LAN network is the gateway 192.168.10.0/24, and here we'll use LAN network 192.168.20.0/24. This is the network we'll use, and we'll use in between connected part. We'll use 11.1.1.1/24, and here we'll use network is 12.1.1.1. Sorry, 11.1.1.2/24, and this is the directly connected interfaces. And we'll create some loopbacks also. We'll advertise that loopbacks. Here we'll create loopback one. IP address is 1.1.1.1 and /24 same. And here I'll take one more loopback same. Here one, and IP address is 2.2.2.2/24. I'll create one virtual interfaces. So we'll advertise these prefixes in BGP routing protocol. These loopbacks as well. How we can verify the routing table. That is the reason we'll advertise. And we'll check the neighborship also. So basic configuration I'll do. Config T and interface fast Ethernet 0/0, and IP address is like in between two routers 11.1.1.1 and /24 means 255.255.255.0, and no shutdown. And we'll advertise LAN prefix, that is interface fast Ethernet 0/1, and IP address is here 192.168.10.1. It's a gateway IP address to LAN users. 0 and no shutdown. Same thing, and we'll advertise one loopback also. Loopback 1, it's a virtual interface, and IP address for that 1.1.1.1 and 255.255.255.0, and not required for no shutdown. And do write. So same thing will configure this row in this router also. Now I'm doing the basic configuration. Interface fast Ethernet 0/0, and IP address is here 1.1.1.2. This is the interface fast Ethernet 0/0, and IP address done, and 255.255.255.0 is the subnet mask, and no shutdown we require to use. And exit from here, and LAN prefix will advertise interface fast Ethernet 0/1, and IP address is here 192.168.20.1 and 255.255.255.0, and use no shutdown command. And further exit and interface loopback 1, and IP address for that loopback is 2.2.2.2 and 255.255.255.0, and exit from here and write. So I have saved the configuration also, and we'll check show IP interface 3. I have configured three interfaces. Can verify it 11.1.1.1, That interface is 0 by 0 and one is fast Ethernet 0 by 1. The LAN prefix I have advertised and one more prefix is there, that is our loopback interface. Done. This is a basic configuration I did. Now we'll enable BGP routing protocol. BGP routing protocol. How we will enable? First, I'll use here. I'll change the some host name. This is our. You can branch one use, and this is a branch one router, and this one is 150. Use host name. So it's our branch two. So now we'll enable the routing protocol BGP router BGP 100 because as I mentioned here, I'll use 100. That is AS number. How we will verify? You can verify, just give the question mark. Before that, if you want to enable any IGP protocol, so here the packet tracer will support all these protocols. So BGP, if you want to configure here, just use BGP and give the question mark. The AS number, as we discussed, 65531. This is the range 1 to 65535. So we will use 100 here and give the question mark. Nothing is there after that. Just hit enter and exit from here and exit from here. Then check the show IP protocols. So this is the BGP we configure. So again, one more important thing is I'll come to this point how we will enable. So here you can check. So external it will be used AD value 20 and internal it will be used AD value 200 and maximum path is 1. Maximum path it will be used 1. So again what I will do, I'm try to configure one more AS number 200 and this same router are 300. Okay. I will planning to configure here 200, right? So I'll do, I'll configure one more BGP AS number. What it will be, give the error will. So BGP is already running the AS number 100. So in this one router, you can use as a only one AS. You cannot able to use multiple AS numbers. So already we configured AS number do show IP protocols. So one AS already running. So you cannot able to configure another AS number. So in every router, only one AS only we can configure. It will be not support more than one AS number. So again, router BGP 100 done. So how we will form a neighborship in between two routers means, as I told, statically we have to configure, we have to form a neighborship. How? So use here neighbor command, then give the question mark, then give the IP address of neighbor. Which IP? If you want to configure indirect neighborship, yes, we can form. If you want to form a direct neighborship, direct and indirect, what is the difference between mean? Indirect means you can form a neighborship through using loopback IP addresses. If you form a direct neighborship means we'll use the physical IP interfaces. If you are using physical IP addresses means that is a direct neighborship. If you are using loopback interfaces means that is indirect neighborship. So some conditions are there for if you want to configure, but we will use the direct neighborship in this packet tracer. So packet tracer does not support indirect neighborship. So we'll use direct neighborship only. But you how to know the concept? We can form neighborship at two different formats in the indirect neighborship as well as direct neighborship. So what we will do now, we'll configure direct neighborship. So for that, this is the my neighbor is presently I'm branch one this router. So 1.1.1.2 directly connected interface. So this is the interface. After then, give the question mark and here give the remote AS. Remote AS I am planning to configure. This is the my remote AS. This is a 200. This one is a 200. Is my AS number. So give remote AS is 200. Same thing we will do configuration are here also. So here router BGP 200. This is a 200 BGP. This is the branch to 200 I'm using. And after then, what we will do? We'll configure static neighborship in between two routers. So 11.1.1.1. So and remote AS is here 100. This is my remote AS router. So within a fraction of second, so you can check here neighborship is formed. Neighborship is formed. How we'll verify? I'll show you in this branch one router. Here also you can check the neighbor is my neighbor is 11.1.1.2. This is my neighbor. So how we will check the neighbor table in BGP? Show IP BGP summary. Through this summary command, we can check the neighborship. Apart from that, we can use neighbor command also. First, we'll verify the summary command. As I told, we have to configure established state. Established means here you can check state is established. How we can verify it? Through these prefixes, four prefixes it would be advertised, and you can check the uptime also. Uptime at 39 seconds before establishing the connection, and messages received and messages is sender, and with from whom with AS through 200 AS the neighborship is formed. So you can check here BGP router identifier. So this is the router ID. Actually, we configured loopback interface. That is the reason loopback interface as a elected as a router ID. And the local AS number is 100. This local AS and remote AS is 200. And BGP table version is one version. It is using table version and main routing table version is using 6. So now we'll check the neighbor table. So IP BGP neighbor. So this is the neighbor table. Here you can verify. So remote AS 200. That is the reason it's external link. It's an external link. External router having the BGP version. The BGP version here, don't confuse the table version and routing table version. Those are the different. But by default, they are using BGP version. So here you can verify when we discussed here content of open message means it will be carry the version type. By default, version is 4. And it will be carry the 100 of AS number, which AS it is, it will be content and hold down timer also it will be content in open message and router ID also it will be verified. So this entire thing will be happen. So no more to come to here. So here you can check hold down timer, keep alive timer, whichever we discussed the entire theoretical you can. So again you can check the state also. Established state. Established state. So what I will do, I'll remove the neighborship. So we'll verify notification message also. So here you can check the notification message also single. So this is the notification message also. Now you can check. It will be wait for till 180 seconds. So neighborship it will be wait 180 seconds. So BGP, so IP, BGP summary. So after 180 seconds, it will be flash the routing. So it will be flash, it will be flash neighborship. it will be remove the neighbors. So here you can verify. Hold down timer is 180 seconds. After every 60 seconds, they will send a neighborship message. You are alive or not. That is keep alive message. So this is all are the messages and notification and entire messages here. And till keep alive message, four keep alive messages are sent till now. One notification message I have sent just now. So these are notification means once neighborship also form, that is a notification message only. One open message also sent. These all are the message types. So what we will do, we will clear IP, BGP, star, it's a hard reset, and we'll check show IPv. So this issue will in available in packet tracer. Actually, it should have to ideal method because we remove the neighborship. So IP, BGP, summary, it should have to ideal message. So here no neighborship. You can check. You can check this. There is no neighborship, even though it is there showing in packet tracer issue. Don't confuse. But real time, it will be not happen like this. So here you can verify no neighborship. Show IP, BGP, neighbor. So no neighborship, no neighborship because we removed. So again we'll configure the neighborship again. So how router BGP 200, the AS is 200 here. Again we'll advertise the through net. Will farm a neighborship through static configuration. So static neighborship. So 11.1.1.1. So directly connected interface. So again remote AS is here 100. So neighborship farm. Again, you can check show IP BGP summary. This is our neighborship command. Show IP BGP and show IP BGP summary. So if you want to check the BGP routing table and global routing table, it will be maintained three tables. One is global routing table, one is BGP routing table, another one is BGP neighborship table. So IP BGP, so IP route. It's a global routing table actually. So in global routing table, you can check only whichever the directly connected interfaces and local interfaces, those only available. Till you cannot get the BGP routing table because here we haven't advertised any prefixes. Till we have not advertised any prefixes. How we can advertise those prefixes? Router BGP 200 and through network command, we can advertise the prefixes. So which prefix, if you want to advertise loopback interface, then use 2.2.2.2 and mask. After then, here you have to use mask. Without mask command, it won't uh, form the, it won't advertise the prefixes. Again, whichever the interface you advertised in whenever you are configured /24 or /8 or /16, those should have to configure same thing, advertise the same thing. Otherwise, it won't advertise the prefix also. Here. Again, one more network that is LAN 192.168.20.0 and mask is here 255.255.255.0. This is what through this network command we can advertise. Now you can verify show IP BGP. Yes, we are getting two prefixes. Earlier, we haven't get any prefixes. Through whom? This is the next hop IP address. This is the next hop IP address, like 11.1.1.2. So remote AS is, this is the AS, so we are getting the prefixes. That is 200. So we have advertised only branch two prefixes. We haven't advertised these prefixes. Now, if you want to verify, you can verify show IP BGP. Here we are not getting. So whichever the locally originated, so that is locally originated means 0.0.0. Next hop IP address is it's interview question. If you saw any 0.0.0, so what does it mean? If you see here 0.0.0, that is the next hop IP address. What does that mean? What does it mean? It's a locally originated prefix. It's a locally originated prefix. Here, the prefix next hop is different. In this router, next hop is different. You can verify it here. Here, next hop IP address is 0.0.0. And weight also you can verify 32768. Here, you can weight is different 0. So, whichever it's locally originated means that 32768 by default weight. So you can verify through this command BGP routing table. So we'll advertise the prefixes LAN prefix and loopback prefix on this router also. Config the so router BGP 100 and we'll advertise the prefix through network command network 1.1.1.1 and mask is here 255.255.255.0 and one more prefix is 192.168.10.0 and mask is here 255.255.0.0. I have advertised through prefixes. So you can verify here. So again, same command. So here I'm getting only one prefix that is 1.1.1. So next hop IP address is 11.1.1.1. So the here you can verify. But another land prefix I'm not getting. So reason is so as I mentioned, whichever you are advertised /24, you should have to use subnet also same thing. If you mismatch, it won't advertise the prefix also. So use no again and so instead of 0.0, 255 255. 0. We have to advertise whichever land prefix we advertised here. So same thing we have advertised here also. So here again you can check. Now we are getting the land prefix. So 192.168.10.0. It's a BGP routing table. If you want to check the global routing table, show IP route. So here you can check B. It means BGP prefix. So BGP we are getting. And here you can check 20 means external BGP. Next hop IP address via 1.1.1 we are getting these prefixes in global routing table, whichever the best prefixes are there, those will be available. Only one part. So this is the 20 means it's a AD value and it's the next hop IP address via this interface we are getting. This is all about the global routing table. So IP BGP a BGP routing table. So guys, I believe how to advertise the prefixes, how to establish a neighborship in between statically routers, BGP neighborship, how it will be established through statically only. So how we configured and we verified also. This is a command where we can identify the BGP neighborship table. Understood? Guys, if you have any questions, then we will discuss. This is a basic configuration actually. This is what the basic configuration of BGP